Have you ever heard of the custom of placing coarse salt in the corners of the house? And do you know what exactly this ancient practice, passed down by monks and healers of enormous wisdom and experience, is for? Through this engaging Zen story, you will discover some of the major benefits of salt and the powerful symbolic and spiritual implications behind them. So stay until the end and do not miss even a minute of this precious story, because the information you will receive will help you in the search for inner peace. But before continuing, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. This way you will be informed when we publish new content for your spiritual growth. In a quiet Buddhist monastery, hidden in the mountains of Japan, the wise old monk Hiroshi shared stories of profound wisdom with his devoted disciples. Dear disciples, Hiroshi began, there is an ancient practice that may seem simple, but it has deep roots in Buddhist wisdom, with important symbolic and spiritual implications. He paused, letting his words echo in the quiet of the monastery. Placing coarse salt in the corners of your home may seem like a trivial gesture, but you have to look beyond appearances. It's like planting a seed of change and watching it sprout. A young monk, with a doubtful expression, raised his hand. "Master," he said, "I have always regarded this practice with skepticism, but now I wonder what might happen if I put it into practice." Hiroshi smiled kindly. Salt, he explained, has been valued over the centuries, far beyond its role as a simple spice. It was traded like gold, and in many cultures it was attributed with magical properties. "But why in the corners of the house?" asked another young nun, curious. "Because salt is not just for making food taste better," Hiroshi replied. "It has a much deeper and more complex history." And so the monk embarked on a tale that wound through ancient cultures and civilizations, from the ancient Egypt of the pharaohs to the India of Gandhi, from the regions of Normandy to Bavaria, from Judaism to Buddhism. He explained how salt had been considered a protective amulet, a symbol of unshakable life, a means of purification and harmonization. "It is more than meets the eye," Hiroshi said. "It is a bridge between us and the universe, a key to our connection with nature and with ourselves." His disciples absorbed the wise monk's words, reflecting on the depth behind such a simple gesture as placing salt in the corners of one's home. And so they began to understand that even the smallest actions can lead to significant change when intrinsically connected to wisdom and awareness. "Every practice has a beginning," Hiroshi began, as the sun set behind the mountains, painting the sky with vibrant colors. And the practice of using salt as a tool for purification and transformation has its roots in the past, intertwined with the stories of monks, sages, and ordinary people. The disciples approached, eager to discover the secrets that Hiroshi was about to reveal. In Buddhist tradition, he continued in a calm voice, salt is considered a protective amulet, capable of repelling negative energies and purifying the space it occupies. A young nun raised her hand, eager to learn more. "But how did this practice begin?" she asked curiously. Hiroshi smiled, welcoming the question. In times past, it was believed that corners were places where stagnant energies could accumulate, creating an imbalance in the home environment. By placing salt in these spots, an energetic barrier was created that repelled negative influences. The disciples' eyes sparkled with interest as Hiroshi continued his narration. In Japan, for example, salt is used in Shinto purification rituals to eliminate spiritual impurities and protect against evil spirits. This practice has evolved over the centuries, but its deep meaning has remained intact. As Hiroshi spoke, the disciples found themselves transported to a world of ancient beliefs and traditional wisdom. They began to understand that the simple act of placing salt in the corners of the home was an act of protection and harmonization with the universe. But the power of this element is not limited to protection only, Hiroshi continued, his eyes shining with wisdom. Salt also has the ability to transform stagnant energies into positivity and to create an environment that promotes personal growth and emotional well-being. The disciples listened attentively, fascinated by the wise monk's words. For them, the concept of using salt as a tool for purification and transformation was becoming increasingly clear and meaningful. And now, Hiroshi said, as the full moon lit up the night sky, I will show you a simple yet powerful method for using salt to purify and harmonize your home environment. With an air of anticipation, the disciples gathered even closer, ready to learn the master's secrets. They knew that, although salt might seem ordinary, its power was profound and transformative. Hiroshi was ready to lead them on a journey of discovery through the ancient practices involving this humble but powerful element. First of all, the old monk began, we must understand the role of salt in our daily lives and its connection to the energies that surround us. Salt has been treasured throughout the ages, not only for its culinary value, but also for its physical and symbolic properties. It has been considered a divine gift, a symbol of purification and protection against dark forces. As he spoke, he displayed a variety of salts collected from around the world, from raw sea salt to pink Himalayan salt crystals. Each type of salt carries with it a unique vibration, he explained, and learning to use salt properly means being aware of this diversity and how it can affect our environment and our internal energy. The disciples gazed at the various types of salt with curiosity, aware of their potential significance beyond the simple flavor they added to meals. But how can we fully harness the power of salt in our lives? Asked one of the monks, eager to apply what he was learning. The key is intention and conscious practice, Hiroshi replied with a smile. I will show you a method you can use to purify and protect your home environment. He picked up a bowl of sea salt and placed it under the light of the full moon. The moon is a powerful catalyst of energy, Hiroshi explained, and when salt is exposed to its light, it becomes charged with purifying and harmonizing energy. The disciples watched in awe as the salt absorbed the silvery moonlight, emanating an aura of tranquility and power. This salt, Hiroshi said, can be used to create a circle of protection around your home or to purify interior spaces. With an elegant gesture, he took a pinch of salt from the bowl and sprinkled it around the perimeter of the monastery courtyard, tracing an invisible circle of protection. This circle, he explained, will create an energetic barrier that will repel negative influences and promote peace and harmony within these boundaries. The disciples watched in reverence as Hiroshi completed the salt circle, feeling the presence of a protective energy surrounding the monastery. It was as if the place itself had been wrapped in a loving and powerful embrace. But the power of salt is not limited to external protection, Hiroshi continued. It can also be used to purify and harmonize internal spaces, creating an environment that is conducive to spiritual growth and well-being. With that, he led the disciples into the monastery, where he guided them through a series of practices involving salt to purify and harmonize the interior spaces. Each gesture was performed with awareness and intention as the disciples learned to connect with the power of salt and use it to transform the energies around them. Have you ever noticed how humidity can build up on the walls of your home, especially in certain areas? Hiroshi asked, scanning the expressions of everyone present. Everyone nodded in agreement, recalling times when they had observed this phenomenon in their own homes. Placing salt in those spots can be extremely helpful, Hiroshi continued. Salt has the ability to absorb moisture from the surrounding air, helping to prevent mold and protect our health. But that's not all. He said with a smile that hinted at a new revelation. Salt can also be an ally in the fight against bad odors in the home. Placing small bowls of salt in strategic locations around the home, such as the kitchen or bathroom, can help absorb and neutralize bad odors, Hiroshi explained. In this way, salt acts as a natural air purifier, keeping the rooms fresh and pleasant. He paused, letting his disciples ponder these practical applications of salt. Then, in a deeper tone, he added, "And these two important benefits of salt, my dears, although they are not directly related to spirituality, actually have a strong connection with our spiritual path." The disciples looked at him carefully, trying to grasp the hidden meaning behind his words. Because just as it absorbs humidity and bad smells, salt also absorbs energies, emotions, and evil presences that can accumulate in the corners of our home and our minds, Hiroshi explained. Therefore, it has a very powerful symbolically and spiritually role, and each of us should take this into account. The disciples nodded slowly, understanding the profound wisdom of the Master's words. Salt, in its simplicity, was a powerful tool for purification and transformation, not only for the physical environment, but also for the inner one. Remember, Hiroshi concluded with a serene smile, that every gesture, even the smallest, can have a significant impact on our lives and the world around us. Use salt with awareness and intention, and you will discover its transformative power. And so the disciples left the monastery that night, taking with them not only the knowledge of ancient salt practices, but also a renewed awareness of the power of simplicity and intention. And as the salt continued to absorb the moisture and odors in their homes, they knew it was also cleansing their energies and paving the way for greater inner peace and harmony with the universe.